The team surrounding ethnographer Sung Gul Hyung, anthropologist Taek Yong Cho, and product designer Yong Kyo Yu investigated the role of the future automobile in Korean society. Their laboratory, Gangnam, the largest trendy neighborhood of Seoul. Here, a car is a status symbol, more so than almost anywhere else in the world. But in the future, a car has to offer much more than a powerful engine.
Please welcome on stage the team leader, ethnographer, and experienced strategist, Mr. Sung-Gul Wang.
Thank you. Seoul is an extreme testbed for urban future mobility. Its population is 4 times Berlin and 3 times London, and it's surrounded by 20 satellite cities. It's also divided by 1 kilometer wide river and also connected by 27 bridges. It has adopted over 20 world-class mobility infrastructures and solutions. You name it, we have it. But the dilemma is that our car increase has been 6 times the population increase. The main issue, the root cause, is the fact that we've overlooked social and cultural values. In our process, before conception, we had set strategic directions. After conception, we set system frameworks. We also chose Gangnam as our inspiration site, mainly because it is the biggest premium market in Korea, and at the same time, it has worse traffic. We did qualitative studies and research, and our unique part about our research is the fact that the interpretations we've gathered from social science were cross-checked through anthropology and cognitive science references. We set prescriptive strategies and also assessed their value weight. Also, we've identified specific key target segments within premium markets. Delta is a segment that seeks status, association, and lifestyle upgrade. On the other hand, Alpha seeks exclusivity and wants to differentiate and step aside from the mainstream premium market. Our expertise is to really understand behavior surrounded by various human factors, but really understand what emotion and intuition are driving the behaviors. To do that, we had 3 teams. A team focused on anthropology and cognitive science, a team focused on creative solutions and design, a team focused on ethnographic research and strategy. We did not focus on the typical values or the common values of mobility. We focused more on the hidden and unspoken values of mobility. Secondly, we sought social innovation. This year, there was a grandma and a grandson pushing a cart full of recyclables. And they accidentally bumped into an Audi car parked. And the kid cried, and when the Audi driver came out, they actually apologized for misparking unexpectedly. This became a very popular story. But the sad side is that this is not a common story. This does not happen more often. So, value chain innovation has become our key objective and mission for this project, that we will innovate how the segments work with each other. Right now, between premium segment and mass market, there's segregation and disparity. Our idea was to actually really innovate the value chain and have the premium segment contribute to public. But at the same time, in order to continue the momentum, we had built a system to socially recognize the premium's contribution from the mass. By doing that, our hope is to create a virtuous cycle within the society and harmonize the two. Our concepts have a big spectrum range where there's urban scale concepts down to ideas for people and even for pets. The first one is mobile flavor. From going A to B, we've identified a dozen different flavors that you can experience in between. We've analyzed and landed on four different categories within the flavor: general, empowered, leisure, and utilitarian mobility. Empowered and utilitarian are the premium focus, but based on analysis, we believe that the leisure will be the exclusive focus. Within each categories, we've identified key scenarios. The first is Gangnam Drift. We couldn't imagine future without thrill when there's autonomous driving. So yes, we will allow people to drive when there's light traffic, but also we need to make sure that we reserve safe boundary so you don't get full ownership because you're still coordinating with the other flocking cars. Another one is actually providing virtual thrill, that it's more like a roller coaster ride where it's autonomously driving you, but in a different flavor. To amplify the experience of thrill, we've added more ideas around having not just road response haptic, but also overhead air haptic resistance, which is an air that blows over your head and gives you more perceptual speed. Second is instant safari that's enabled by smart glass. By laminating transparent display, privacy film, and also tempered glass, you have a shell that has smart masking and exposure that adjusts. Not only that, the masking can be animated to give you optimum shading, but also maximum viewing. Siesta Fiesta is all about making the car the best place to be throughout the day. One of the first things that came up from research was people wanting to have natural breeze within the car. And the key to that is actually to maximize the air travel. Other things about privacy, where you want to get a quick rest, that you have a morphine hood that covers your head, or also inflatable padding that works as blanket wrap for you. But from the research, we understood that pets are critical companion for this market. When the weather is hot, the dog feels hotter than human beings. When the weather is cold, the dog feels colder than human beings. So the idea here was to have a small bed for the pet that's cooler and warmer than human temperature. Marathon Shuttle is about marathon meetings, and it's probably a future that you don't want to see, so we'll go to the next slide. Orchestration of piloted driving. We've looked at over a dozen adaptable technologies that you can utilize to best orchestrate the pilot driving. We came up with 4 categories: technologies that extend human ability, technologies that augment human ability, also technologies that respond to existing infrastructure, and then new technologies that vertically integrate with existing infrastructure. When you look at the strength and weakness of all these technologies, they actually intercompensate each other. The point here is that in order to have a perfect or close to perfect orchestration of autonomous driving, that you need to hit all of these 4 categories. Next is modularity. When you're trying to understand why car sharing hasn't been a mass success in Korea, People say hygienic issues, but when we probed, actually it was more of shamefulness. So one thought was, why not modulate the car so you have a personal cabin, cockpit, and also shared powertrain, which gives other benefits like central maintenance, flexibility in upgrading, being able to donate your powertrain when you're out of town for people who really need it as well. Social iconography is self-expression, also intercommunication, and social recognition as well. We looked at solutions to communicate those three attributes. And the first one is fractal alias, which is a virtual representation of you, but also it represents the level of social contribution you have made. The richer the fractal tree is, the more contribution you've made. Here's some examples of the fractal alias getting richer. Another finding we had was you can't really dismiss physical iconography, even though we know that biometric solutions will replace it. It is still a very strong symbol in expressive cities. So we had ideas on how to maintain that, but also extend benefits as well. The next one is T-bone strategy. Within premium market, we've read tendency that people want to upgrade and upgrade. But when they reach a certain point, they want to step aside and differentiate from the mainstream premium market. So this scale maps to that tendency where you have the vertical upgrading, but at the top, instead of giving another line of portfolio, the idea here is that you would actually provide opportunities to socially contribute, but also make sure that that gets announced and applauded by the society as well. Looking at this shape in 3D, it's an umbrella shape that also maps to the algorithm of fractal alias. Digital ribbon is a way of actually decorating other people, not only yourself, but giving other people to be decorated and be recognized as well. The last category is about life balance and vitalization. We've observed a lot of nomad activities going on in Seoul. And the root cause of it was actually the urban stress and life imbalance. So we came up with 3 solutions to improve that. The first is urban diagnosis, where you have a handful of input sensors to detect traffic, air pollution, sound pollution, and driving behaviors as well. But you don't only use this for your own vehicle and yourself, but you utilize this with the society, sharing that with the city government, and also for individual citizens as well. The second idea is that people were desiring a lot of instant escape within the city and not wanting to drive 3 hours to get to an amusement park. So the idea is, why not have amusement within the city rather than driving so far and save the energy? So we thought about having a ferry wheel within the city. And we had one insight where we already have parking towers in Korea. The idea is to redesign the existing parking tower and make it into a niche in between the building ferry wheel. Parking is inseparable with urban scenery, and it's ugly. But instead, we thought, hey, why not have the cars harvest energy during the daytime, but also light up the city for safety and security? Not only that, taking a step further, you can actually have the cars orchestrate media and also support personal commitment and success as well. The last is weekend opera, where you will see a lot of ad hoc concerts happening at Yangtze Stream. And we have a lot of empty buildings on the weekends and empty parking lots. One idea was, why not have drive-in spectators on one side, and then on the other side, use the empty buildings and transform them into stages so you can have a bigger experience. Again, our mission was to socially innovate, mentally first. And that is by innovating the value chain in between premium segment and the mass market, by having premium contribute, but sustaining that through recognizing them. Second mission was to really discover the hidden dimensions, the emotional dimensions of mobility, and not deny that. Yes, we have the physical factors, but we have to understand the social, cultural, and cognitive factors as well. Thank you very much for the virtuous synergy with Audi experts and Star Park, and to my family, thank you very much.